Good morning, friends, and welcome to another video. In today's video, as you can see, I'm sitting right next to my wood stove, and I have the shutter closed so it's not so hot right now, and I'm not burning a really hot fire. So I'll have to move soon because it's gonna get really hot. But today's video is I'm just telling you guys about some winter preparation that we're making, and I'm showing you our new wood stove. And then I'm gonna tell you the story behind this wood stove. It's not brand new like bought from the store, but it's like second hand, second owner. We're the second owner of the stove. So I'm gonna tell you how we got this really expensive stove for like nothing, okay? Because like in our life, like we've been blessed so much by God with so many things that it's so incredible. And I just like to share some stories with you guys as I'm going to continue in my YouTube videos. I'm going to share some stories with you guys because some things just blow my mind the way, God works and the things that he does for you if you have faith and patience and you just believe in him. So yeah, let's get to the wood stove. I'm going to show you guys the wood stove. So this is a wood stove. Oh, the fire is getting hot. So this is a really big wood stove, as you can see. It's a big one. She is a big girl. I just love this handle, man. It's so cool. And she is massive. So you see the size of the wood. We can just put whole, like this is our log pile here. We've been keeping our logs like right here, and look at the size of the logs, so we don't have to cut them any smaller than that. In our other stove, we had to cut it in half. So this stove is like really amazing, and you can put like let me close that down, and you can put like even the whole logs can go in there. We're just splitting them in 3 or 4. They just go in there, and it keeps the fire going. And then there's a shutter here that once the fire is lit, you shut it off, and then it keeps the logs burning really slowly, but it lets off a lot of heat. Man, I love this stove. So it was we as you can see, it's nice and black and looking really nice. So we painted it black with heat proof paint. So that means, it's just gonna stay that color and it's not gonna, get rusty and ugly and all kind of stuff like that. So yeah, you have to put, I think my husband put like, I think it was like maybe 2 coats. Yeah, 2 coats on it. And it looks really gorgeous. So now let me tell you the story of this stove. So I bought this stove 2 years ago before we were even dreaming of getting this property here. I was at my other house in semi suburbia because we had like a green space behind, so it was really great. Anyways, so I wanted a wood stove because I wanted to convert my garage in the winter time into a space that I can go out there and work. So I'm like, okay, I should get a wood stove. So let me start looking for one. But first I start looking at the prices because I wanted something that was safe and I didn't want anything that's going to cause me a fire in my garage. So I have to move a bit or else I'm just going to get so hot. Anyways, so I started looking and the prices, the brand new stove were very expensive. Now I needed a big one like this because my garage is big and you know I need a lot of heat in there. So anyways, I was looking like the prices were like a $1,000. And the price was really it was expensive, and depending on the brand that you wanted, it was like $2,000 and up. So I'm like, okay, then that's, you know, that's kind of high price. I was thinking for a stove which I'm gonna just be using in the garage, right? So I said, let me start looking online on Kijiji and see if I'm gonna find something within that price range that I wanted and the size. Yeah, so there was an ad that popped up, and it was a little bit far from my house, right? It was in Quebec, so it was far from my house. So I was like, okay, let me read the ad. This, so I was like, okay, let me take a close look at the stove that the person was selling and see the brand and stuff like that and see, you know, if it's something that I like. So the guy was very thorough with this stove. He explained the model, the brand, the size, and everything like that. And he didn't put a very good picture, honestly, of the stove, so it didn't look really well. But he had just posted it. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go look at it. I'm just going to drive over there. It was like Sunday morning, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go over there. And then I looked at the location where he was, and it was way out in the boonies, and I'm like, well, I don't think anybody's gonna get there before me. So anyways, my husband was away, and it's just me and the kids. And then I said to my daughter, I said, let's go. So we jumped in our van, took the seat out. We took the seat out first, and yeah, we decided to drive out there. Whoa. Just two girls. And we know it was a big stove and it was going to be heavy. And I'm saying to myself, I hope it's like there is some kind of man there that can help us lift the stove into the van, because there's no way we can carry it, or we'll have to pay for it and then go back when my husband gets back. But anyways, when I look really well in the ad, it was like $50. I'm like, $50? Maybe it's 500. Maybe it's not 50. But anyways, we drove out there and we got there, and it was quite a drive because it was like way out in the country. And we got there, but it was a really nice young couple. They have just decided to bought a little homestead out there, a couple of acres. I think they had like 10 acres or something. And they got this house that was on it for many, many years. I think it was maybe a farmhouse or something, and they didn't want the house. So they not they didn't want the house, they didn't want the style of the house. They decided to renovate the house and fix it up to the way that they wanted. And then this stove was in there. It was the main heating source of the house. So anyways, he took it out because he wanted, his dream was to have like, you know, one of those big stone fireplace in the middle, like of downstairs. And he showed me inside his house, you know, he showed me inside his house because we started talking about, you know, living off the land and stuff like that, whatever. Anyways. And I said that was my dream, and I'm looking for a property too, and soon I'll be out here like you. So he was a really nice guy. And him and his brother were there, and his kids and his wife. And they were young. And anyways, so he told me the story about the stove, that was the main heating system. He showed me the big, nice stone fireplace that he built. And so now he didn't want it. And he said, oh, I'm just selling for $50. Just take it for $50. I don't care. Just go with it because you've been sitting here and nobody bought it. And just, you know, just you came first and just take it. So he said, oh, and don't worry about lifting it because me and my brother is going to lift it for you. So that was incredibly great. He lifted the stove and put it inside my van for me, and my daughter took it home. But the problem was we had nobody to lift it up when we got home. But anyways, me and my 4 kids was able to lift it up and put it inside the garage. So that's where it sat for the past 2 years until we moved to this property here. And then now we're able to paint it and bring it inside this house. So this is the story of the stove. So this stove worth is $2,500. This is the cost of the stove, the brand and everything of the stove and the cost of it. And I was able to get it for $50. So this is the goodness of God. And when something is for you, it's for you. So that's the story of my stove. Now moving on to other things that is happening here on our property. It's getting cold, and so we had to clean the chimney. But we got the chimney cleaner and took everything out, took the pipes and everything.
Open this for me, please.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mommy's always needed for something. Took the thing down from the top, and then we opened it because our neighbor, who's a very nice neighbor to us, and he's the one who suggested to us. He was like, the wood stove that I have there, it's small. So maybe you should get another one. And we said, we have another one. And he went and looked at it and inspected it and stuff like that. He said, oh, you should put this one. This one is twice time the size of the one that you have. And just put some fire bricks inside. So I forget to tell you guys, we lined the inside of the stove with fire bricks.
What's this?
You want to play with it? But you have to put it back when you're done, okay?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so we lined the inside of the wood stove with fire bricks all the way around, so it's super hot. I mean, it's not really cold now. It's the coldest I think we have gotten is like 8 degrees at night, so it's not really cold, but it's really hot. Like when we light the stove, it's like the whole house is just really hot. It goes to like 25 to 30 degrees in the kitchen, and it goes to about 24 degrees in the living room, and the dining room is a little bit cooler. I think like 20 degrees or 18 degrees there. Upstairs is like 25. It's really hot upstairs. It's like burning hot upstairs. So it's pretty good. So we'll see when it's like minus 20 what's gonna happen, but I think it's gonna be okay because the other stove worked really well also. But since this one is twice the size, I think it's just gonna be even better. Anyways, we have a really fantastic neighbor. I just got off track. We have a really fantastic neighbor.
Careful.
And he said, you know, guys, you haven't cleaned your the what's the name of that? Oh my gosh, brain freeze. Yeah, so you haven't cleaned so you haven't cleaned the pipe. So you need to clean it. So being such a nice neighbor, he brought us his pipe cleaner. We have a different one inside the barn that the previous owner left. So it's different from his, but his is easier to use. So anyways, we got it and took everything down and hoping to clean this pipe because we thought it was all dirty and murky inside. But for some reason the pipes were shiny clean. So I don't know if they're coated with something, but the entire pipes, they're clean. They don't have any soot inside built up in there. So we're really happy about that. We didn't have to like clean it all out and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that is done because we were really worried about that, about cleaning the pipes. So that's good. And then the next thing that we're doing is we are trying to fix up our the house, like do the last bit of scraping on the side of the house and put one coat of white paint on it before winter comes. And then in the spring we're gonna put the yellow paint that we have out there on the other two sides because it's just too cold in the day. It's like right now it's like on a really nice days I think it's like 20 degrees, and then other days like 18 degrees, 17 degrees. It's not really hot. So yeah, so that's some winter preparations. And then we have all the canning that we've been doing. It's mucho canning. I actually ran out of space for canning jars, so has put canning jars here. I have also started using this space because I have more things to can. So I've been using the space here on the little table that I have my mail corner here. I've been doing here. And then inside my cupboard up here. Can you guys see? So way up inside my cupboard here, I have canning, this whole line of cupboard going the opposite direction this way. Is lined. So I had to put some cardboard, hope you guys can see, some cardboard on top here to do a second layer of second layer of cans in there because there's so much things to can. So that's really what's happening here right now. We just been like canning like crazy and just drying stuff and putting them away, and there was no jars. Jars are really scarce, so I've been buying those expensive jars for $20-something. These large jars. So I've been canning and storing stuff in these very massive jars. I have some basil in here because there's a shortage of small jars. So this is what's happening around here. We're also cleaning up the back and putting away all the furniture, the outside furniture, And then this year we have a new system for our wood stove to bring wood in, like to store our wood. So we have our wood inside the barn. So we store our wood just in the one side of the barn, like the on the opposite end of the barn. This is just dedicated for wood. And this year we are really getting, I think we're getting like 10 10 we're getting like 10 cords of wood because we're teaming up with the neighbor to buy wood together. And so he's buying half, I think we're buying 20 cords together. And he's gonna get 10 cords and we're gonna get 10 cords, something like that. But it's a lot of wood, like massive wood. A huge, massive truck comes full to the brim with the logs, and then he has a machine and then we cut it up, and the wood lasts for the entire season, and we have loads left over. So yeah, that's good. He introduced us to that. Usually we buy the cards already cut up and it's much more expensive. So it's cheaper to buy the wood when it's not cut up and you cut up yourself. But our neighbor has a machine, so yes, for good neighbors. So anyways, this year my husband got this it is a wheelbarrow, but it's a plastic wheelbarrow we've been using around the farm. We have a couple of them. And we decided to bring that one inside here, inside the porch, and then take wood from the barn and store it here, and then keep a container inside. This is our system here. We have this wooden, it's called, I don't know, this is a brand, Annie's or whatever. And then there's a space here we can put our paper in here to store it. We just have a little bit here inside this plastic, and then all our wood will be stored here outside. So we're gonna stack it up as high as we can right here, right in front of the door. Let me show you. So it's right in front of the door. Our shoes on the opposite side, and then this is a little place so we hang our coat when we come outside. But everything, the wood is going to be stacked right here, and then way up high, and then we just take it through the door and come right here. And then we have another bin. Then we have a bin right here where we just keep a good amount, so it's gonna work well this season. So okay, y'all, we have a lot of more things to do here on the homestead. We have to trim the roses, we have to trim the lilac bushes, the apple trees, all the fruit trees actually have to be trimmed and get prepared for winter. And what else we have to do? We have to cut, we have some trees that has dried and gone dead, so we also have to trim that. And we have a lot of preparations to make before the winter. We have to set up our wood cutting section where we can just go there and cut wood if we need to, but I don't think we will because everything will be cut once the load of wood come in. So we'll still put a log out there just in case we need to cut like smaller brambles to start our fire, because we have a lot of that, just to cut them into the length of the wood stove, to use as kindling. So setting up a wood cutting station is always really good. What other things we have? Oh, we have the lilac bushes. The lilac bushes has to be trimmed and cut. What else? Oh yeah, clean up out the yard. Just doing a good sweep and a rake and getting rid of stuff out there, because in the spring it's just a mess if you don't get rid of stuff now. So yeah, there's a lot of preparation to be done. We have to fix the well. The line that goes from the well that comes into the house, that has to be winterized so it doesn't freeze in the winter. And then the last thing we have to do is like go downstairs in the crawl space and test out the heating system that we put down there to make sure that it's working and if anything needs to be fixed. And we have one of those, let me get it and show you guys. So this little thing here is our thermostat for the basement that heats up the base, that tells us the temperature down in the crawl space and down there and in the cellar. So I don't know, it seemed like it's broken. I don't know, it fell down and then the back came out and the battery been popping up. So We need to get a new one of that because that is very, very important. This tells us the temperature where our pipes are, and so we know when to leave the pipes on when we have a freeze in the winter, and like what's the temperature down there to prevent our pipes from freezing, and the well, the little line that comes, just a small part in the line from the well is exposed. We have to make sure this stays at a certain temperature, I think under 10 degrees, or else it freezes and we have a problem. So we don't want that to happen. We had that freezing, like since we moved into the house 2 years ago, we had it 3 times frozen. So we have to be careful. But since we put in this new system, it has not freeze. So yeah, we have to keep that up to date. So these are some of the things that we'll be doing. I will keep you guys updated and filming some stuff so you can see what we're doing around the place as winter is around the corner. So I think it's gonna be maybe a month or two, who knows, until it's gonna snow. So we just have to be prepared. Could be a little bit longer. Never know. In this Canadian weather, snow could come tomorrow. So yeah. So we're just testing out the wood stove, doing all that kind of stuff, making sure everything functions because you don't want snow to come and you'll get stuck. So you all, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys coming back all the time and watching my videos. And remember, you're beautiful, you're more powerful than you think you are, and you can accomplish so many things if you put your mind to it. And the light in my kitchen is just horrible at this moment. But anyways, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.